Evening, everybody. Sean Kennedy. I have a 700XX, and the front sprocket last time I rode shredded itself to pieces. I was up in West Virginia riding, and we're coming down into Pineville off the Pinnacle Creek trail system. Jumped one of the jumps, landed, and heard her shred herself to pieces. Next morning, found a 450R front sprocket, and it married up just fine and continued over the ride for the last day. However, what I would like to talk about is getting that rear sprocket off. It's not as easy as a solid axle bike. However, we've been able to do it in about a couple hours. 1 hour one night, 1 hour tonight. So as you'll see, you see the A-arm knuckle, and this is the A-arm knuckle here. We've taken that off, and then this is your, I call it your outer spline, man, where your tire just bolts up. So anyways, we took the spline off the end of here, your CV axle, your upper A-arm, and your lower A-arm is where my knuckle connected. So you see my knuckle right there, and slid that off, unbolted the shock. This is the lower part of the shock right here, and unbolted it from the lower A-arm. Undid the swing arm, popped her out. That's where she goes in right there. Lighting's bad. I'm doing it in the dark. Got kids, man, so I work on this thing when I can. And underneath here, you will see, no, you won't see because the lighting's so bad, but there is a bolt right there. Maybe I can get it from this side. But right in there is a bolt right where my finger's touching. That's the bolt for what would be known as I guess a swing arm on a solid axle bike. So loosen that guy up, loosen this guy up right here where my fingers are touching, right there, loosen the bolt up that came through there. I highly suggest doing that while your jack is underneath there. So you jack the bike up, I would suggest loosening the bolts when you loosen the lugs on your tires. So loosen the tire lugs, loosen this bolt, loosen the one on the other side over here where my finger's pointing to, and jacking the bike up, sliding the bolts out while it's sitting on the jack, while you still have your jack stands under it for safety. And while my jack's under it, I'd pull those bolts out, take a little sledgehammer coercion, but it'll get it out eventually. Slide that out, then lower the jack, let her rest on the jack stands, walk around to the right side of the bike, and pretty much just do the same thing. I took the tire off, your spline, your knuckle, my knuckle right here, left him on, but just undid the lower portion. And then that allowed her to slide down on the back just enough to allow if it was a swing arm, it would allow that to lay on down like so. In doing so, it allows enough space to slide your sprocket out. Still have to work on it a little bit, working your shock out of the way and working the lower A-arm out of the way, but got her in. And you will notice two Allen bolts here, 1, 2. Undo those, and that's where splash guard sits for this guy. That allowed me to undo your bolts for your rear sprocket. All I did was I rotated the sprocket, took one bolt out at a time, and rotate this side of the way, rotate him up in this area. Gave me plenty of room to get a wrench on the outside here, and my Allen key in here. I had plenty of room to work, so that wasn't too bad. Some guys say cut something off, but I didn't need a modified tool to do it. But yeah, just work on this one, then rotate him into that spot, rotate them all the way around until you get it done. I think it's 6 of them. So took a little time, a little patience, but we got her. And I haven't got her back together, obviously, and I probably won't post a video on how to put it back together, because if you take it apart, you should be able to get her back together. And while I'm back here, because I'm working on, I'm gonna go ahead and tackle that rear brake. I've never put a rear brake on this thing, so we'll see how that goes. Thanks for watching. I'll let your boy, I'm out.